Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Cassidy and thank you for joining me on my presentation of the capstone project, The Bad Bank. Alrighty. First off, we have the front end, all things React. And this is the diagram for the front end. The directory's name is client, and within it, in the main part of that directory, we have your Docker file, package JSONs, the package lock as well, the Heroku necessaries for their platform, the Heroku YAML and the proc file, then the various ignores, git ignore, docker ignore, those. And then within that client directory, we have another directory, which is the visitable pages. It includes all the, well, actually it includes all the components. I was going to organize it into visitable versus non-visitable for things like the context and all that, but I just ended up throwing it all in visitable, and it was what's done is done at that point. And then of course we have the JS and index and all that. That's all where it should be. So yeah, to be as accurate as can be, this is how it ended up being with all the components and whatnot, and CSS up there for the various non-bootstrap stuff. So now we have the registration Axios call, because yeah, most of the front end rules, no password less than 8 characters, no blank fields, etc., are above the image, but they're from the last banking assignment, so it's not really particularly relevant. The image shows the entered user data being turned into JSON data and sent by Axios. Oh man, JSON data. I'll tell you the story about that at the end here. But so the login front end after after registration sends you to the login, or you can click on it without, if you're already prior to this point registered. So this is the Axios call for the front end, for the login front end. So Axios is used to send the user data in JSON form. Again, upon the return of the user object, set the current user in context.js and also local storage. Local storage is pretty neat. That's a very cool little thing to use. But so we also set the token in local storage for the JSON, or I mean the JSON web tokens. Yeah. So that token does expire after an hour logging the user out, I think. I've never waited around for the whole hour. I'm pretty sure it does though. So then once you're successfully logged in, if that occurs, then you're sent to your profile. It's pretty simple. Get all the data from the user object and use it on the user's profile page, right? So the interesting bit here is the middleware. Where is it? Yeah, with the bearer and the token that we get split up later. But the annoying bit, my God, I could not for the life of me figure out which response data user and or this and or that. Who I was. And then it ended up being that you had to. It was just a very specific way to set the data, and it was just, oh, what a nightmare that was. So on to the deposit and withdraw. I just included these in the same slide because they're not that interesting. They're just a minus or a plus. It's only interesting if you get it wrong and it's real money. So now that all is said and done, the whole thing really was pretty simple looking back at it, but so frustrating at the time. Now that I know what the usual culprits look like, it's go time. It's always something infuriatingly basic. It really is. And so where were we? Yeah, it really is like just their profile. Get the data, alter it if you'd like, or if they'd like, or and any number of possibilities. The standard crudding. Oh yeah, some of my favorites. The use effect for the JSON web token, ye shall not pass. This thing, oh man. Well, I'll explain this one first. This is the tippy top favoritist I wrote like a few days ago. The login, sign up, seamless transition. You'll see it in a moment, or maybe you've already seen it. I don't really know the order that you guys are doing this, but we'll see that soon. It's just switching with using the ampersand trick, and I did the same thing here, which was so cheap of me to do, but like I was just annoyed at the time. I was like, I couldn't get the 1,000 to display or their balance without sending it first, which also could have used affected it. But yeah, what can we do? We'll see that in a moment. Um, but it was just such a cheap little move, and I thought it was just very humorous, so I included it. And that would be all of the front end. Next up, we have the back end, some wacky routing, and the logic that keeps everything in order. See y'all soon.